Hey, what's up, guys? I wanted to jump on here and give you guys some value, share something that recently happened to me. Trying to get this lighting right. It's a little bright. That's too bright. Hold on one sec. I wonder if that's better. Is that good? Yeah, it's better. That works. Good. So, recently, actually, this wasn't that recent. This was actually a couple months ago, but I wanted to talk about treating your Airbnb like a business. It's really important that you treat your Airbnb like a business and not like a hobby. Meaning, when you do this, like, you need to make sure everything's tip top. You need to make sure everything is on point and everything counts. So, for example, like if there's one piece of hair on the toilet, you need to make sure it's off. And that when your cleaners come in and they clean, you need to check behind them, until you really start trusting them. But anyways, I wanted to come on and just tell you guys about a story of why I'm saying that, because I have a deep regret for doing it now. So probably about 2 months ago, I would say I had this girl stay at this house, and she was a young girl and her boyfriend, and they were like 18. They were pretty young. And not that there's anything wrong with being young or anything like that, but I'm just telling you, they were young. They were a young couple. They came. Anyways, so they drove 16 hours from Georgia. They got here. They said that my property smelled like smoke and there were ants. And so I remember that day because I was sitting there and I was like, okay, because that's when I was cleaning the house myself. So I was sitting there and I was like, all right, this is good. I mean, this is great. This is probably as good as it gets, right? I cleaned it myself. And so I know for a fact that there wasn't anything like that. There was no ants. I actually had treated the property for ants because I was staying in it for like 2 or 3 days before that. So I treated it with like ant stuff, and there wasn't even ants before that. Anyways, long story short, that has really nothing to do with it. But let me tell you the story. So she came in, she said, hey, there is ants in the bathroom and it smells like smoke. So I said, okay. I was away. I don't know where I was. I might have been in another city, but I was like, okay, I can come by later. And then she was like, no, I forgot what she said, but I was like, okay, so are you wanting a refund? And so she was like, yeah, I mean, how much can I get back? I didn't think I could get anything back. And it kind of started from there. So then I was like, all right, well, let me do this. Let me talk with my partner. I don't have a partner on this. I just said that. But, I said, let me talk with my partner and let me see. But really what I was doing was I was going to go check the house and clean, just to check it, to see it, because I know I was just there like an hour or two before. So it was just a lot of fishy things going on, right? She came an hour early. I went outside. She was right there. I saw her car. They were both looking as I came out to say hi, whatever. They drive away. So that was really fishy to me. And that was an hour before. Now this is all kind of sounding very fishy, and like even the stuff that she said was very fishy. So it was like really fishy to me from the start. But really that doesn't matter. And I'll tell you why in a second. So after that, I think I had this property on Airbnb for about 2 months. And after that, I said, all right, so let me check with my business partner and see what we do. Really, I was just coming here to check. see if there was ants and if it really smelled. So I came. Then actually, my business partner did come to this house, and I wanted her to see it and see if she smelled anything. She couldn't smell anything. I even think I had a cleaner that was helping me that day too with this house. Anyways, long story short, I had 3 people here. I said, hey guys, does it smell like smoke? Do you smell that? None of them smelled it. I said to them all, I said, I don't want you to please me here. I want you to give me honest feedback. Does it smell? And do you see any ants anywhere? And are there ants in the bathroom? Right? I wanted them to make sure that they gave me like legit feedback. So, anyways, long story short, so they said no. And I'm thinking like, man, it was really weird. So let's go back. She came here, she looked, she said, I can't stay in this house. It smells like smoke. I said, all right. She called me. She said that. I said, let me check with my business partner and see what we can do on a refund. Really, I was using that to come here, take a look at it, see if it was clean, and see what we could do. After that, what happened was they were like, all 3 were like, there's no way, this doesn't smell bad. There's no smoke smell. We don't know what she's talking about. I said, all right, and then, I asked some other people. In my heart of hearts, I was like, this girl doesn't deserve, these people, not just because she's a girl, these fucking people don't deserve their money back. Like, I'm here. It's clean. There's no ants. There was nothing that they said. And anyways, long story short, I messaged them back. I think I called them back. I said, hey, look, we went to the property. There was no ants. It was very clean. There was no smell. We don't really know what you were talking about. She said, okay. I said, but what I can do is I'll give you back the cleaning fee. And I think I gave her like, $65 back or $100 or something like that. So that is where I messed up. That's where I messed up. And I'm going to come back to that. But anyways, it was very fishy. Like, there was three things that were fishy to me, and what made me make that decision to not give her money back. One, when I went outside an hour before, they didn't even, they passed by, and then when they saw that I came out, they jetted. That was really weird. 2, they came in, they said 2 false things, 2 things that were false. 3, they called me like an hour later and said, hey, we're already on our way back to Orlando, or we're on our way to Orlando. We're not going to be staying there. We just want our money back. So, those 3 things happened. And what was weird to me was that it felt like they were wanting to go to Orlando. Like, if they wanted to stay in St. Pete, they would have stayed. But they're like, no, fuck it. I'm going over to Orlando, so quick. Like, if they really wanted to stay here and vacation here, wouldn't they stay just in another Airbnb? That was my reasoning. And that's what I thought. So I was like, those 3 things led me to believe that there was something very fishy about this. And it was like, it wasn't an authentic experience. One, we have a 7-day policy. If they can't get their money back 7 days before. They have time to cancel, get their full refund before. But if they are within 7 days or in 1 day, they can't get their money back. And the reason why you do that is because if they have, let's say, a 2-hour week, they have a 2-week stay. Let's say it was a 2-week stay. If they have a 2-week stay, if they cancel, you give them their money back. You leave all that open. It's going to take time to get those dates rented out. and there's a possibility that those dates won't get rented out. And so that's why hosts don't like to do that. But let me tell you where I messed up. Where I messed up is I didn't give them their money back. Now, what this video is called, Treat Your Airbnb Like a Business, right? No matter what, give them their money back. It's like if you had a business and they weren't satisfied with your services, would you want them to have a bad experience and not get their money back? Or would you just want to just give them their money back and, treat them with respect, give them their money back, and you both just go your separate ways? Now, the reason why I say that is because ever since then, it took me twice as long. After that, my ratings for this property in particular, it took like 10 reviews to get it up to average of like 4.8. And I might be exaggerating here, but it felt like forever. And because of one bad review, which was a 1-star review, it took me like at least 2 to 3 weeks to recover. And that might have been 5 to 6 days, probably 4. But that's what I'm saying. It's not worth what it is at this point. Is it's not worth it for you to keep the money, because if your ratings are higher, then you're going to get more people to see your Airbnb. So anyways, long story short, what I'm saying is if a customer isn't happy, unless they have violated something that Airbnb doesn't allow, like if they ask for money and they said give them money and then they'll clean it, you can't do that. Like there's certain things that they can't do that's considered like, I guess, like a blackmail type situation, that if they do that, you can call Airbnb and let them know like, hey, like these guys might be trying to blackmail me, trying to get their money back, and you can call Airbnb and do that. But unless there's any kinds of those situations, if there's no like clear situation that they're trying to just get their money back, you must just give them their money back. Because in the end, it doesn't matter. Like in the end, if you get a bad rating, you'll have to recover. It'll take a while to recover. And that's my regret, is that it took me a while to recover. And all I'm saying is I got less bookings after that for this property. And, I was stressed about it, and that's what I'm saying. It's like, it's not worth it to keep the money. It's actually more worth it to give them it back, treat them with respect, and just let it go. Now, there will and might be situations where people are staying at your property and they, in the middle of their stay, they're like, we want our money back. And there's just some times where you have to like take a chance, and there's some, and sometimes you gamble, right? But if you can, try not to let them have a bad experience, and always try to make the customer happy. Because like I said, it took me like 2 to 3 weeks to recover from that, especially if and this is a new listing too. So anyways, long story short, if I was treating this house in the beginning like it was a business, I would have said, no, I'll just give them their money back. I'll treat them with respect, and then I'll move forward. No harm, no foul. Whatever. They got their money back. I have the space open. We're good. And that's how it could have been. And that's what I'm trying to tell you, is you want to treat your Airbnb like a business, or your Airbnbs like a business, because like in that case, you would really just want to make your guests happy. Long story short, you really just want to make your guests happy. That's it. And that was a regret. It was something that I learned from, but I regret because it took me a while to recover. And anyways, long story short, wanted to tell you guys that story because I think it could really help people out there just in general. It's a little tidbit advice about your Airbnb that you can use, and you really wanted to treat this place like a hotel. Like, you don't want to get too attached to what people think, and if they want their money back, you can't get offended. Just straight up, you can't get offended. It's a business. It's not personal. Give them their money back. Move forward. That's it. See you later.